Welcome everybody to the How to Get Started webinar. Today we'll be learning about getting your email campaign set up and the couple easy steps it takes to start setting up your account and collecting subscribers. Now this webinar will go for about 10 to 15 minutes, and afterwards we'll have time left over for questions. We'll be taking questions off of our Facebook wall, so at the end of the seminar you'll be directed to facebook.com/Aweber. On that page, you can log into your own Facebook account. The login is in the upper right-hand corner. Now, I do ask that you like our page if you haven't already. The only reason I ask that you do this is because it's the only way you'll be able to type a question on the wall. From there, we can read the questions off the wall, and we'll answer them in the comments section below the question. Now, again, we will be taking questions after the presentation, but while I'm talking, if something comes to mind, don't hesitate to type it on up there. I'd like to mention that after this presentation, everyone will be receiving an email which will contain a copy of the slideshow, as well as a recorded version of this webinar. So don't feel you need to take really extensive notes. I'll make sure everybody here gets that recording. So let's move along and get started with talking about getting your email campaign set up and starting to collect subscribers through your Aweber account. Now first, I'd like to go over a list of what today's demo is going to cover, and we're really going to set things up in 4 easy steps. The first step will be the initial list setup. This involves giving your list a name, and also filling out the information that will show in the from line of your messages. The second step we'll cover is creating a welcome email, a message to welcome new subscribers to our email campaign. The third step is we're going to cover building a sign-up form for our website so we can collect those subscribers. And then the fourth step is placing the form on our site so that visitors go to the site, they see the form, they fill it out, and they become a subscriber to our list. So let's go over to our Aweber account, and let's do this first step. Let's set up our initial list settings. To do this, we're going to go to the My List tab at the top of the page, and click List Settings. Now the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to name our list. And when you name your list, it's a lot like when you save or name a file or a folder on your computer. We're just giving this list a name to tell the difference between this one and any other lists we may create. For today's example, we'll be creating some emails and a list for our fake Italian restaurant website, Pasta Marco. If you've ever been to any of our other webinars or even seen some of our videos, you may be familiar with Pasta Marco. If not, here's a quick preview of the site. And again, just the fake business. Let's pretend we're running it. We got this website here, and we want to create a sign-up form for people to sign up to. We want to start collecting subscribers and sending email out to them. So we go back over to our account. We're going to take out this default list name and replace it with Pasta Marco list. The next thing we want to do here for some of these initial settings is to fill out the information that will show in the from line of our emails. Again, this is information that's going to help people to identify who these emails are coming from, and also help them make the connection from the email they get in their inbox to the website where they signed up to receive it. Now we can have a name show in the from line. This could be a personal name, could be a business name, again, anything that helps people make that connection. We talk a lot about our chef on our website, so we're going to say that these emails are coming from Chef Marco. We can also have an email address in the from line. You'll see right now we have a personal Gmail address in there. I actually don't recommend using a personal address though. Try using one that's hosted at your website's domain. So we're going to take this out of here and replace it with chefmarco@pastamarco.com. The reason why I recommend using one of these email addresses is because people are going to your website to sign up. In this example, they're going to pastamarco.com, so they're going to expect an email from someone at pastamarco.com. If somebody receives an email from someone at Gmail, it's just not going to look real professional coming from a personal account. Now, if you don't have one of these domain email addresses, don't worry. I recommend contacting your web host. They'll be able to set you up with one. Once we're done with the name and the from line, we're just going to go scroll down and click Save. So the second step in our setup, we're going to create a welcome message, an email welcoming new subscribers. To do this, we're going to go to the top of the page, hover over the Messages tab, and choose Follow-up. Then we'll click on the green Create button. And this will take us to a follow-up message edit page. This is where we can start building this welcome email. And again, this email is just going to welcome subscribers. It's also going to touch on a few other points as well. The first step, though, is to create a subject line for the message. So I've got some content that I've used in previous webinars. Let me just grab that. And the subject line of our welcome message will say, "Thanks for joining the Pasta Marco email club." Now we can create this email in two formats, either HTML or plain text. Now with an HTML message, we have control over formatting, changing things like font style, color, size, or even adding images or graphics to the message. Also with an HTML message, you can use our templates, which are basically pre-designed emails that you can just add your own content to. In fact, if we wanted to use a template, we simply choose it from the title here. We see a preview of the design appear below the menu. To add that to the HTML section, we simply click the green Load button. Now, when you load a template, you'll notice that there's already text in there. This is just filler to give you an idea of what this looks like filled out. So you'll want to replace this with your own text. Now, that could be as simple as deleting the filler text and typing right in its place, or copy and pasting your own text over the filler. Now, anytime you create an email in HTML, you also want to make sure that you create a plain text version to go along with it. And plain text is just that, text only, no images, no formatting. The reason why we want to do this is because there may be some people on your list that cannot receive or view HTML. The plain text version will at least give them a version that they can view in their inbox. And again, with the welcome message, we welcome people, we thank them for signing up. You should also use the welcome message to set some expectations. Let people know what they can expect to see in future messages. You should use this message to link back to your website, and also to ask for feedback from subscribers, letting them know if they've got questions or comments that they can get in touch with you. It's good to do this because you want to know what your subscribers think about your emails, and also by asking for questions and comments, your subscribers will give you ideas for content for future messages. Once we have this email all set, we're going to scroll down and click Save. So this is the very first message in an entire series of follow-up messages that you can create, automated emails that people receive when they sign up to your list. Well, of course, now we need to get people added to the list. We can do that by creating a sign-up form and placing it on our website. So with the third step in our setting, we're just going to go over to Web Forms, give that a click, and click on the green Create button. Now, when creating a sign-up form, the first step is to decide how you'd like it to look and what kind of other information you'd like to collect. Choosing a look for your form is as easy as choosing a template for your email. We actually have templates designed just for sign-up forms. These are some of our newest ones, and you can always click on Show More to check out our different design categories. Well, since we're running a restaurant website, we can look at the food and wine category, and then scroll through these until we find a template that we'd like to use. Once we do, we click on the icon. We get a closer view of the template. We can also change around the color scheme here. And once we're ready, we'll click Load. Now, right now, this form has a field for people to add their name and their email address when they sign up. You can collect additional information by building new fields, clicking the blue Create a New Field button. Now right now this form doesn't really tell a visitor much about it. I mean, it's got the field for name and email, but it doesn't tell people what the form's about or why they should sign up. So we need to add some value to the form, give people a reason to fill it out, and just let them know what it's all about. We can do that by adding some text to the header section. Just click that area. And for example, our header may say, we'll say sign up to the Pasta Marco email club and receive. So the first line here lets people know what this form is about, and then we'll list out some benefits, give them a reason to fill it out. They'll get things like free recipes, they're signing up for cooking tips, and we can play with their curiosity a little bit. We'll say and much more. Once we've added that text, we can save it, and it will now appear in the preview section. Now, one last thing we're going to do, we're going to make this form a little bit smaller to add it to the sidebar of our website. So we're going to click on the Resize tab over here to the right, just kind of left click on that, and then drag it in. Once done, we're going to go to the second step. And the second step just really entails giving your form a name. We're going to name this, nobody else will see this, it's just for your own records. And deciding which thank you page to use. Now we have several thank you pages to choose from. You can even use your own custom thank you page, but if you haven't built one of those, you can always use one of our basic versions, our version with a little bit of audio, and even a thank you page with a video. Again, the whole point is not only to thank people for signing up, to remind them to check their inbox for that confirmation email that you send. So we'll choose one of these, and then click Save. So now the last step in our setup is going to be getting this form actually onto our website. To do that, we're going to go down and click Go to Step 3. Now there are several options for publishing your form. The first one is you can install the form yourself. We'll do this in just a moment. The second is you can have your web designer install the form. Just give us your web designer's email address. We'll send them what they need to get that form onto your website. Or you can even have Aweber host your form. We'll provide you with a link. Anyone clicking that link will be taken to a page that just has your form on it. But let's actually install the form ourselves. So I'm going to click on I will install my form, grab the HTML by right-clicking and choosing Copy, and then heading over to Pasta Marco. Now, like I said, we're going to be putting this form in the sidebar of our website. So we're going to move this Explore and Table Talk section down. To do that, we need to go into our website's management software. For this particular site, we use WordPress. It's a popular blog software. Now, many of you may use WordPress for your site. Many of you may use something else. There's lots of different management softwares out there. This is what makes it a little hard for me to show you exactly what you need to do next, because everyone's software is going to be set up a little different. At least here I can show you some similarities. Let's go over to our editor. And what I mean by some similarities is that regardless of what software you're using, you're going to see this window that appears that contains the HTML that makes up your page, or in this case, just the sidebar. So we're going to move some of those sections down. We're going to paste the HTML where we want the form to appear, and then click Update File. Now for some of you, that button may say Update or Upload or Save or Publish. It all does the same thing, because once that HTML is saved, we can head back over to Pasta Marco, refresh the page, and our form is now over on the sidebar. The last thing I recommend you do is to fill the form out yourself, just to make sure it works the way you want it to, and also get an idea of what subscribers will experience. And that's it. In those 4 easy steps, we have a list set up, we've got a welcome message that's ready to go out to new subscribers, and a form on our website to collect those subscribers.